This is not a depressing message, and we're in podcast mode. When death becomes a happy thing, we could look on the horizon of what's to come in this world, and you can look at salvation through death. Death isn't always the worst thing. The worst thing is, I guess, being lukewarm, not being really hot for God, not being cold for God. And in this life that I led, I was very asleep and then very hot for God. So it seems like we're kind of at the end. There's a lot of symbolism, and it's interesting because when you know how like the Antichrist speaks through people, and getting very candid here, getting very personal, but when I met my Muslim boyfriend, I met him, but I didn't date him till like way later. And he was like channeling the spirit of the Antichrist, and he said, "You're gonna get your wish very soon. You're gonna die very soon." And most women would be like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna run." But I just looked at him like it was like the most loving, kind thing anyone's ever said to me. He's like, "You're gonna get your wish very soon. You're gonna die." So it's like death becomes a happy thing. I was just watching Nosferatu, which is the remake of Dracula from 1922. They remade it, and it had like 4 Oscar nominees. And the woman was like being possessed with the spirit of death. And she's like, everyone's gonna die, but it's gonna be so wonderful. Like, everyone's gonna die, but it's gonna be so wonderful. She's like, I was so happy. So maybe we need to prepare for this. You know, I feel like if the rapture were to happen like tomorrow, I feel like the Antichrist would just like grab me in a freaking chokehold. And I wouldn't fight it, right? As long as you kill me, I wouldn't fight it. And that's probably part of like tribulation, is like dying for the faith. Like, people are going to be like, please kill me for the faith. This world is like, it was funny because when we were trying to navigate to this wedding, my dad was like trying to talk to this AI, and the AI was not cooperating. And he's so funny. He's like, send me to hell. Send me to hell. Where's hell? And I'm like, you're in it, dude. You're in it. And me and his girlfriend laughed. Like, people know that they're in hell in this world. People understand that they are, in fact, already in hell. So when does death become a happy thing? At the end. At the end. We're at the end. You've exhausted every possibility. You can't move in this world. It's like suffocating, but like it's for a reason, you know? It's like all part of the plan is to like be still and know that I am God. Like, just be still and know that I am God. And I think this goes for most single people. I don't know about people that have families. They probably have other agendas, but death becomes a happy thing. Not because we're in despair, not because we're depressed, but because we understand that this is not our final resting place. This is actually, to a lot of people, this is like our hell. So in the movie Nosferatu, it's like, it's too bad that Dracula is always depicted as this like really ugly person, and maybe it's because like they're trying to depict the soul of death himself. I wish they would make these movies where like the Dracula wasn't so ugly and disgusting, because at the end he kills the woman, and it's like the greatest act of love that could ever happen. The greatest transaction of love that could ever happen is when Dracula kills the female. Because in my deep meditation, I found that the woman is not exalted in this world. Speaking of Rome and the Vatican, like, the mother was never in Rome. She was never in the Vatican. Like, the woman is not exalted in this world, and that's why this world got to be as gay and dumb as it is because the woman was never exalted here. She comes in for moments at a time, but she's at her detriment in this world. There's nothing sad about it. It's just like, relieve me from this madness. Like, relieve. And it's not even like any kind of madness. Like, we're totally at peace. We're just like, dude, we're here. Like, this is it. Let's just be done with it. But I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to say. Well, in Nosferatu, it was like death kills the woman is like resurrected, and then she kills death. So it's kind of this transaction that is like mutual, you know? It's like very mutual. And in my Gnostic meditation, it was like, this is kind of like where we began. We began with like the nothing. We began with the void. And when we began to create, it was like the woman was never exalted. We are only carriers of, and I don't know if this is like the final truth, but from my meditation, it was like the woman is only the carrier of the men who are going to continue to do evil in this world. Like, you're not a good person in this world. You can't be because you're not supposed to live under the jurisdiction of Satan. And this world is like under the jurisdiction of Satan. So it's not our final resting place, but we've been breeding children as like they're going to be they're going to be resurrected. Like, you can take your children with you to heaven. It's like all about what you're going to take to heaven. Because in the world to breed, it's like you're just breeding slaves for the system, or you're breeding for man's conquest. That's what came out of my meditation was, I'm just breeding for man's conquest, and I'm facing the man that like bred me for his conquest. So in the beginning of a relationship with a Muslim channeling the Antichrist, he was like, you're going to get your wish soon. You're going to die. And it was like, most women would run and scream, but I was like, I just looked at him like, the devil just spoke through this man. And I was like, that was the nicest thing you could ever say to anybody. And I don't mess with him anymore because that's the spirit of the Antichrist. You don't mess with the spirit of the Antichrist. So I don't mess with you anymore. Because this world is only using women to breed for the conquest of a man's agenda, like a fully male agenda. And I don't know at any point in history when that wasn't the case. Because history is recorded of all these wars and events, and every war and event is just more conquest. It's more of man's conquest. It's just more of that. And then it's funny how at the very end, the spirit of the Antichrist says, I just want to breed you. I want nothing. And it's funny. Like, it's not even mean. It's like the honesty coming from the mouthpiece of the Antichrist, which is for me to learn to like absolutely just not deal in any of this. The mouthpiece is like, I just want to breed you. That's all you're here for. Not being mean, right? But being honest. And it's for me to learn that this world has nothing to offer me as a woman, as a mother, has nothing to offer me as a woman, as a mother. To begin a relationship by saying you're going to get your wish soon, you're going to die. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. And then at the end of the relationship was, all you're here for is to breed. And I'm not mad about it. It's for me to understand this is true. This is actually, in fact, true. This is true. All women are here to do is to breed for the conquest of man. I mean, you can breed treasures for heaven, but the treasures are in heaven. They don't stay here. The treasures are for heaven. They don't stay here. You can't do it here. It doesn't work. So death is not a sad thing. It's a very happy thing, especially going forward. That's all I had to say. I think that's all I had to say, but there you have it. Check it later.